Hey guys, SirVern back here. Hey guys, SirVern back here.
Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today Otis and I are reviewing 13. This is a remake of an older game. It's a first-person shooter loosely based on the first-person volumes of the 1984 Belgium graphic novel series of the same name. Developed in 2003 for Windows, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. I think I played this on PS2 back in the day, so this was a super nostalgic experience for me. But I'm going to go over the same 5 categories I always do: graphics, performance, gameplay/story, replayability, fun factor, give each category a score from 1 to 10, average it up, and then talk about the game a little bit. So we'll start with graphics. This has a super unique style, almost like you're playing a comic book. I really like it. It's like cel shaded. It looks really, really good. I do have some critiques though. There are certain areas, and I'll show one of them here in a bit, that, I mean, it hurts your eyes. It's so bright. Like sometimes the contrast may be too high. Sometimes the brightness and the colors, it's almost like a neon orange in some of the mountains that it just, So there are some issues with the graphics. But overall, I think they look really, really good. I love like the way the water looks. I love the effects when light hits something, or when you're like looking through glass. I think it looks really good. So I'm going to give graphics an 8.5. Not perfect, but for what they're going for, I think they did a really good job. Next category is performance. I had a few issues with this game, namely in the menu. When you hit like options or pause, sometimes you can't get out of the menu unless you hit pause again, so you'll be getting shot. It'll say continue or whatever on the screen. It does it like almost every time you pause the game. So I had issues with that. I did have one issue where I would fall through the world and die. So I found like I went over an enemy or stepped over an enemy and it messed up whatever where I was supposed to be, and I would fall through the world and die. That happened a few times. So performance, I'm going to give a 7.5, which is respectable. No game-breaking glitches, but I don't know where the next issue I have. I don't know where to put it. Whether in performance or gameplay/story. So we'll go to gameplay/story, and I'll mention this. So I give an 8. I give gameplay/story an 8. But we'll start with the gameplay. So like I said, I've played this game before. This is an older game that I've played, so I was super nostalgic for it. I don't know that I beat it back in the day because I don't remember the ending, but so keep that. This may skew my results a little bit, but I really enjoyed the game. I liked the shooting. I really enjoyed those mechanics. I liked all the weapons you get to use. I like it's just a linear shooting PS2 game, and you can tell by the way people move and you shoot. It's just really entertaining. I like how it's told, like in this graphic book style that you can see. It's really fun. The story is also pretty good, Sometimes maybe a tad bit hard to follow, but not really. It's pretty basic. There's a few things that I was confused about, but I'm not going to ruin any part of the story for you. It's got grappling hooks, and it's definitely an older game remade. So just keep that in mind. But I enjoyed it. So but this is the part of that I didn't enjoy. So I gave it an 8, and I was probably higher than that when I got to a certain part. Stealth in this game, at first I was glad that they added stealth because it just adds a little bit to the game, But it's, as you can see right there, if they're in any line of sight, so it doesn't even matter like what you're hiding behind. And I ran into one issue where I'd gotten to a checkpoint, and I just kept failing a mission, and it was something stealth related. And I'm going to let it frustrate you when you get there, and maybe it won't happen to you. But it took me a solid 30 minutes at this one checkpoint. I'm like, I do not want to restart the whole level. What is going on? And I finally figured it out. So kind of frustrating. The stealth mechanic is super basic, but it's there. It's not overwhelming in the game, but to me, it could have honestly done without it. I was like excited to get back to the action sequences. So stealth is just okay. So I give it an 8, but it was overall a very fun experience. Replayability is going to be higher in this game than I anticipated, because it's like a 6 to 8 hour game, and it has a trophy to beat it under the hardest difficulty, which I love. So I beat it under normal. That's what I always start off doing. And I would have gone for the platinum in this game, or would go for the platinum. But the only thing I don't really go for in games when it comes to a platinum trophy is collectibles. I'm not huge into finding collectibles. So because I don't really like following walkthroughs, I like to try to platinum it on my own. In this one, I feel like you would have to probably, unless you just were obsessed with this game and looked in every nook and cranny for these collectibles. Because like I said, some of the collectibles, one in particular is gold, and there's certain areas that are so bright that like hurt your eyes, and they could have been in there, and I'm just not going to go and look around. So that's why I probably wouldn't platinum this game, but it's fun enough to where I might one day. And so I give replayability an 8. I think it's respectable. An 8-hour game that requires you to play it twice, has collectibles, has multiplayer, although that's another issue with the game. So I tried to play online. I searched for 5 minutes, never found a game. And I just did it once, you know. But I think that it's just... I almost wish this game would have just added a mode with bots. And it may have bots. I don't think it does, though. Because I saw local multiplayer and then online multiplayer. I'll have to check, and I'll add it in the description if it does have bots, but I don't think it does. But if a game like this had just a game bot mode where it's multiplayer, I would prefer that over online multiplayer, because I don't think this game got good reviews back in the day. I'm going to have to go check. I never did watch a review for it. But I think, like I said, my nostalgia has a lot to do with why I like this game. It does have local multiplayer, so that's a saving grace, and that's another reason I add it a little higher, because this would be fun. This is almost like an old school, like GoldenEye, maybe a little more modern GoldenEye game. And the weapons are fun. It's got throwing knives, bazookas, you know, all kind of fun stuff, shotguns, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to give replayability an 8, which is pretty high. Last category is going to be fun factor, and like I said, I've said multiple times, I really liked this game. Nostalgia is going to influence the score a little bit, but I give it an 8. So just to recap, I gave graphics an 8.5, performance a 7.5, gameplay / story an 8, replayability an 8, and fun factor an 8. So let me average those up real quick. I'm not even going to edit this out. 8.5 plus 7.5 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. So it gets an 8 out of 10, which is pretty high. You know, I really had a good time with this game. So no shame in saying I liked it. If I had 2 or 3 buddies over and we could play this multiplayer, couch co-op would be fun. And it does have an online server, so maybe if you found enough people, you could hop on and get a game going, and I think that would be really fun. So, a few notes about the game. So, no haptics. Man, I hate when PS5 games don't utilize PS5 mechanics. You know, all their awesome features. And this is a no-brainer. This should have used haptic feedback and, you know, adaptive triggers for the shooting. Come on, man. That's disappointing. And then the stealth is kind of frustrating. Some people are going to get frustrated and not want to play those parts. But they're part of the game, so you have to throw them in there. Or I had to mention them. Overall, I enjoyed this game. I'm glad I played it. And if it's super cheap as well. I bought this for $5 digital. I also have the physical copy. So, yeah, nostalgia. Sorry I had to cut, but nostalgia got me on this one. I think it's a good game. I recommend you play it, especially if you find it on sale. That's all I got. SirVern out.